we go right into one of my favorite all-time writers, reporters, and I think it's just as important to say the word reporter because that's what we all started out to be, I think.
Correct.
Because most of us couldn't write, but both Troy Renck and Marc Spears can write in addition to reporting. Marc Spears from Yahoo.com, formerly of the Denver Post, one of our favorite people. How you doing, Marc?
What's going on, fella?
Are you able to relax a little bit now?
No, man, not even close. I'm actually gonna. You'll laugh at this, Woody. They asked me to do one of the local stations asked me to do some color commentary at the parade for the Warriors. I live out in Oakland tomorrow, and then Tuesday I go to the draft, and then July 1st free agency starts, and then summer league starts July 10th. So probably around August, somewhere in August, I get
Yeah. Well, yeah. I remember when I first started covering basketball, when the season was over, I'd work on the desk for like 4 months because there was nothing to do. But you just brought up, I can't wait. I hope we're able to get you doing color commentator as a commentator on the parade because over here, oh, there goes a fire truck by. Oh, that's good. Here comes a float dressed in roses.
Hey, well, I'm gonna be the filler guy. I'm the guy that has to tell all the stories.
Oh, there's Curry. You probably don't know his father played in the NBA.
There you go. Have you heard of his daughter? Have you heard of Riley?
No, never heard of her.
Let me get into a serious question about it. There is Marc, since you're obviously we're right on top of the draft, there's talk about the Knicks possibly wanting to trade down if they can't get one of the top three, including Russell. There's talk about the Nuggets going after the sixth pick and dangling Ty Lawson. Do you think they're really going to be draft day trades that will figure into those top 6 players that we think are game changers, franchise changers?
Yeah, you know what, I think so, because you got teams like for example, the Knicks worked out Trey Lyles today from Kentucky, who I think is a great player, but I don't think they pick him with the 4th pick, which leads me to believe that they're interested in trading down. You know, Orlando has been talking about trading up or down. You've heard Nuggets talk. I do think it's going to be a very, very active trade day during the draft, and Nuggets could be involved with that. I understand why they would explore trading Ty, but if they're trading Ty, that means that they think they're getting Moutier or even Russell, thinking they're getting somebody that can replace him, I would guess. Veteran point guards at the premium, but I think with everything that's happened with him in Denver, all the drama off the court, perhaps it's time for a divorce anyway. So I'm really curious to see what the Nuggets do on draft night.
What do you see the fit with Malone, the new coach? It's just odd here. Marc, we're watching this press conference, and it's as if they reintroduced Brian Shaw. I mean, he's similar coach, similar background, and he talks about the importance of efficiency on both ends, but he's got a defensive background. And is he just saying that his team's going to run, and is the difference going to be that he's going to have a roster of guys who actually are coachable? How do you see it from afar? You're much more tuned in than we are.
Well, I got to know him really well while he was with Golden State, and I got to know him in Sacramento, and I think it was a mistake for them to fire him. It didn't make sense. He had the Kings playing really, really well until DeMarcus Cousins had this odd illness. I mean, if you go look at, say, the first month and a half of the season, they were actually one of the best teams in the NBA. And then DeMarcus gets sick, and then and he was gone for nearly a month. Team started faltering, of course, when he got sick because he's by far the best player. And Ali just fired him. I do think he's an NBA head coach. Obviously, you know, the Nuggets only going to pay so much money, so if you're going to pay a lower amount, he's probably some of the best guys available. I think the big question people are wondering is, well, your new assistant GM is the guy that let go your new head coach. You know, how is their dynamics going to be? That's kind of an oddity. But I think that Michael will have to obviously report to a higher GM and owner. And although I think the way Pete's such a great guy, they'll bury the hatchet, I'm sure, at some point. But if they haven't already. But, I think Michael probably was a surprise hire, but considering probably the amount of money they want to pay, I think it was a solid hire, and I really like what he did in Sacramento.
Well, we know the propensity for the Stan Kroenke not to want to spend the money in the coaching office, but I hope that this decision is not based on money.
Yeah.
I said earlier, Mark, and our guest brought to you by Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village, Colorado's #1 volume Lexus dealer, conveniently located right down the street from me, I-25 Bellevue. View current specials and a large selection of new and certified pre-owned vehicles, popsicles, and vehicles at Cooney Lexus of GreenwoodVillage.com. I never read that commercial, so I'd been better off just talking about it as I am with Marc Spears from Yahoo Sports, and obviously the #1 beat writer for Yahoo Sports and basketball, and one of the most knowledgeable people about the game in the country. I just keep being worried, though, that when you say, Mark, if that's the kind of money they want to spend, and during the series, you know this as well as I do, the coach that was talked about more than either of the coaches in the series was Mike D'Antoni. Is he ever going to get another job? I mean, obviously he wanted more money than Stan Kroenke wanted to pay, or they didn't think he had any more after what he went through with the Knicks or the Lakers. But is he done? I mean,
you know what? Woody, was interesting. I had heard that Mike was willing to take a discounted rate to work for the Nuggets. I mean, he's still getting paid by the Lakers, so I didn't think he was trying to break the bank as perhaps it was, perceived that he was trying to break the bank. So, with that being said, I was kind of surprised that he wasn't the guy. But there obviously was something about Mike Malone that they liked, and maybe they just chose to. I think they could have afforded Mike D'Antoni, and with the Warriors winning the championship and using a lot of D'Antoni-ish offense through Alvin Gentry, I think people see his value, but things haven't went the greatest for him in recent years, and especially with relationships with the players. I think sometimes, perhaps maybe Mike's offense is kind of, okay, I know this is a square hole, but I'm gonna fit a triangle in it. Like he forces the players to play his system no matter what. Where I think Mike adapts to what you have. So, I mean, either would have been, to me, either way, I think they would have been a good hire for the Nuggets. And the roster is so up in the air. Maybe Mike might have been turned off by it, too. I'm not sure. I knew he wanted the job, but who knows who's going to be on the roster on opening day. Yeah,
he wrote, he tweeted to Les Shapiro while we were on the air and saying, I was willing to take a chance. So it sounded like it was totally from the other side. I was remiss earlier mentioning when I brought up the Knicks, because I want to give credit, that where I read it was Mark's column. Right. So, correct. Mark, I'm sorry that I didn't bring that up, but you're the person that I read that said the Knicks were willing maybe to trade back in the draft. Give me, since you mentioned free agency, and the Nuggets we don't have any clue what they're going to end up with, but you know that. Fareed could be gone, Ty Lawson could be gone. Yeah. Forget Kevin Love for the moment, but give me 3 value free agents that the Nuggets should go after.
Well, I'm going to give you one, and you guys just saw him in the finals that nobody's really talking about, and understandably so. People are really talking high on Draymond Green. But I'm going to give you two guys in the finals that I think the Nuggets should go after. One is Festus Ezeli, the Nuggets center. The Warriors center. He's only like 25 years old. He's only been playing basketball for 10 years. He's had a high ceiling. He just played a pivotal role in helping the Warriors win a championship. And he's a restricted free agent, but the Warriors have to pay so many guys that, I think that he's a guy that could get stolen, and he's young. And another guy is Tristan Thompson. I think he might get not so much maybe max money, but close to that. And I could see the Cavaliers playing games with him, but he's somebody that you target as well. I think when you're the Nuggets, you got to be realistic about who you go after. In Charlotte, 2 years ago, they got Al Jefferson. Why did they get Al Jefferson? Well, they were realistic about, okay, we're not going to get the prettiest players of this bunch, so let's go to a B-plus player who's from the South, and they were the most. You know, there were some dominoes that had to drop before Al's name came up, but they were at Al's doorstep from the beginning. So I think it's imperative that the Nuggets are realistic about some certain free agents that may not get that knock on the door the first day, but if they're aggressive, they might be able to steal some guys that might surprise some folks.
Yeah, enough talk about teams that are terrible, meaning the Nuggets. You saw the finals. Warriors they're in a great position, it appears, Mark, that to bring back most of this roster. Will they bring back Draymond Green? Does he represent a max money guy to them the way he fits? And in your mind, who is the favorite next year? Is it Cleveland? And Tristan Thompson is LeBron's guy. I mean, does he want him there? Is it Cleveland? Let us know. Can Golden State, it looks like they're primed to be good for 4 or 5 years, but who is the favorite in your mind next season?
Well, I think you'll see a rematch of the finals. I think Golden State will be better the next time because they'll be more experienced. Cleveland could be back too, but we got to see how Kyrie Irving is.
That's a good point.
Kevin Love to come back, but this dude, their starting point guard broke his kneecap in half. And I know they're saying he's going to be back in 3 to 4 months, but time will truly tell how he is and how he feels. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a finals rematch.
Mark, we really appreciate it. Love your work. Keep breaking stories. Best of luck with your busy schedule coming up over the next few weeks.
Yeah, enjoy the parade. We'll try to watch you.
We'll watch for you on a fire truck in a Bay Area near us.
That'd be stories I could tell.
Yeah, and it's tell them your Twitter handle because I want people to follow you. You're one of the best.
Well, thanks, Woody. That means a lot. At Spears NBA Yahoo. Tell Greg Moore I said hi too.
We'll do that. Thanks, Mark.
All right.
Bye.